When we think of companies which are known for their excellence, whether it is service excellence or quality excellence, we talk about Toyota, we talk about, let's say, Virgin Airlines and Southwest Airlines, Disney.
Many leaders who talk about excellence visit the company toilet. So you will find the difference between what is being talked and what is being practiced.
Right. The term excellence itself is seen as something very difficult to achieve. Maybe people have to be taken through that journey.
The employee first and then the customer next.
Right.
Because if you don't be excellent to your employees are not going to be excellent to your customers.
The environment is becoming more of chaos. The leadership team or the business management team is pushing something which is very, very difficult to achieve, but they say that the business can only survive with this kind of contribution coming from everyone.
As a business leader, one must first stop looking at the news.
Okay.
News does not give you the real picture.
Right.
Okay? You know the real picture of your company.
Yes.
So if you are driven by news, whether it is doom or gloom, and we carry that to the workplace and start putting pressure on everybody, it doesn't really help anybody.
Yeah. Sometimes the business leaders are sandwiched between the reality and what the customers, to what extent the customers are willing to support them. So
the customer is essential for the continuation of the business. The employees are essential for the continuation of the business. Vendor ecosystem is essential for the continuation of the business. You can't do any shortcuts in these areas.
More than keeping this as an idea or a strategy, get it implemented. You don't need to even say it. You can even go beyond the legal clauses and then do more for your people.
And if the person knows that their limb or life is at risk, how do you expect them to come back to work tomorrow?
Some companies work for 45 hours, some companies work for 48 hours. But at the end of the day, there are companies where who do a lot of things to at least create a feeling that we care for you and we are there to help you with the work-life balance.
How much of productivity improvement the employee themselves can bring in. So if people analyze, am I doing 8 hours worth of job in 8 hours or 16 hours?
Right. Another interesting aspect in leadership is driving excellence. When we think of companies which are known for their excellence, whether it is service excellence or quality excellence, we talk about Toyota, we talk about, let's say, Virgin Airlines and Southwest Airlines, Disney. So all these organizations which have got this global presence, and in some way they have created a mark for themselves that we deliver excellence, whether it is service, whether it is product quality. What is the role of a leader in terms of sending this message that, just like you mentioned, that straight to the purpose, it's not just about delivering the numbers, it's just not about keeping the customer happy for today, but excellence is more than that. And how should the spirit be passed on, imbibed, and what should the leaders do towards the same?
It's not about messaging alone. Let's understand one thing. People do not come to work just to while away time. Okay, people are serious about their life. Okay, that's why they seek employment. They decide to lead a very normal life.
Meaningful life.
They want to lead a meaningful life and they want to come up in life. So how do we enable them with the concept of excellence? Many leaders who talk about excellence visit the company toilet. So you will find the difference between what is being talked and what is being practiced. Okay, and go to the canteen. Okay. So this is not about only the way we serve the customers. If we kind of inculcate this in the environment and provide that environment, I'm sure everybody wants to understand and excel. So excellence is part of the culture. Excellence is not a separate program.
So it has to be, the term excellence itself is seen as something very difficult to achieve. So which means maybe people have to be taken through that journey that initially starts with small compliance, then it goes on to consistency, and then it moves on to standardization, etc.
It's not necessarily linear. Say for example, if the purpose very clearly says that whatever we do, okay, we will do it this way. Okay, so that means my product will meet the spec, the product, the way it is packaged, the product, the way it is delivered to my customer, the product, the way the customer experiences it. In case there is a dissonance, the way that we allow the customer to, or the customer decides to reach us, the way we resolve, if we kind of make it understandable and practicable by people.
People.
Okay, so then that's where the excellence starts. And as you said, excellence is not a destination; it's a moving target. Okay, because the customer expectation changes, so you need to be exceeding that. You need to keep moving, and it is not only about customer. The employee first, and then the customer next. Because if you don't be excellent to your employees are not going to be excellent to your customers.
Sir, I just want to slightly take this discussion to the global arena. Today, companies are going through difficult times in terms of prices of commodities are rising. The raw material prices, which wasn't a budgeted one, companies are now pushed to the burden of taking up that raw materials cost. The boardroom discussions are becoming quite heated discussions, particularly if it's a limited organization. The quarterly discussions, the quarterly publishing of numbers and papers. And it's all translating into pushing the employees very hard to deliver productivity which at times assumes very, very unreasonable. And compounded with all this element of aspirations of this new generational workforce and this, the AIs and automation coming in. It's kind of, the environment is becoming more of chaos. The leadership team or the business management team is pushing something which is very, very difficult to achieve, but they say that the business can only survive with this kind of contribution coming from everyone. What should we really do, at least to navigate, to go through this difficult phase of the next 1 year time period?
I think, this is not the first time, okay? Post-COVID, there was a semiconductor shortage, okay? And then even the semiconductor prices went up. And we have seen this kind of cycles many times. The best
this time it seems to be, that was perhaps to do with the supply chain disruptions, but this time it seems to have hit every sector and cost.
This is geopolitical technology, everything coming together is a little bit of a more stress. But as a business leader, one must first stop looking at the news. News does not give you the real picture. Okay, you know the real picture of your company. So if you are driven by news, whether it is doom or gloom, and we carry that to the workplace and start putting pressure on everybody, it doesn't really help anybody. Okay, so the real thing is, if the purpose is, again, I'm coming back to purpose is very clear. So what is essential that needs to be done to meet the purpose? Whatever is non-essential, that has to be cut out. Okay, so if this can be done later, do it later. Okay, but what cannot be done later is if you are not taking care of either your employees or your customers or your vendors, that will come back and bite you. Okay, so it is one thing to agree with your vendors to pay a little later on a mutual agreement, because the vendor is also going through the same difficulty. Okay, and with the employee, agree on certain things which can be done now, which can be done later, but at least there is a promise, and as things improve, what can happen, etc. But keeping people in dark and then putting a one directional pressure, it will only break the system at some point in time. So take an example. Let's say there are two different manufacturing plants or two different companies. One plant manager decides that I would run 12-hour shifts, okay, and I will show it as 8 hours and sweat people for 4 hours extra, will not pay overtime, okay. It may work for him or her for a short period of time, and it will come back and bite in terms of legal consequences. Okay, the labor department is not going to sit tight on this. They get sense of it, and they are going to come down heavily on that. And the word gets around, and these workers are not going to be available. Okay, as things improve, and this factory is going to be the first factory to see a huge migration of people going out of that thing. So out of necessity, somebody is working, and then we pile on them and make their life miserable, and they are not going to forgive you when you need them very badly. Okay, so compared to another factory which decides same 12-hour shift, but they are willing to pay the overtime, okay, and taking care of the basic necessities and things like that. So that's
taking them into confidence, onboarding them is
onboarding
critical.
them. Yeah, that is critical, because if they are critical for your output,
Yeah.
and you can't exploit them now and expect them to be loyal to you at some point in time.
Because the reason why I'm asking this question is there is so much of pressure in terms of showing some kind of positive outcome in the quarterly reports that you release. With your finance cost already gone up, your cost of manufacturing, overall conversion cost has already gone up. Your customers are not willing to take that price hike that you're expecting. So sometimes the business leaders are sandwiched between the reality and what the customers, to what extent the customers are willing to support them. So
Do the customers, suppose you are creating value, and if you are not engaging with the customer and making them understand, then we are only commoditizing ourselves. Okay, so this cannot be borne by any one party, because it is not the making of the company. It is from the environment. When the oil prices have gone up and the input costs have gone up, all that affects everybody. No competitor can also give at a cheaper price.
Same price. Okay. So which means that you need to work on both the sides. You're saying at one side you engage with the customer and see to what extent you can have a leverage, and then see as to how much of this shock can be absorbed by the customer. Second is you make your people understand the context and onboard them and take them into confidence, build the trust in them that things will get better.
The customer is essential for the continuation of the business. The employees are essential for the continuation of the business. Vendor ecosystem is essential for the continuation of the business. You can't do any shortcuts in these areas. Yes. If they are not taken into confidence, and if they are not treated well during this, it's not only your crisis, it's everybody's crisis. So how do we really navigate this together? So that is far more important than
a few other aspects. Besides, of course, it's relevant to business, but then it's more relevant to our life. One is on EHS, sir. Generally, EHS remains as an objective, and sometimes it comes up as a KRA and KPIs on several aspects. What business leaders must do to really bring in some impactful contribution from the environment side, from this aspect of the health and safety as well?
I think again it's about how do you really view your employees as a expendable pawns in the whole thing, as a cost line item, or you will be known for treating people well.
Okay.
Whether they are working with you for 90 days or 90 years, will be, as long as they work with us, we will be treating people. So safety environment is not about compliance.
Right.
It is about the commitment of the business to deal with people. Okay. So if a company thinks that providing a safe environment is a cost, and I'm going to cut the cost, so then how do you expect somebody to come and work in that place?
So it should be more exactly like earlier also you said, more than keeping this as an idea or a strategy, get it implemented. You don't need to even say it. You can even go beyond the legal clauses and then do more for your people.
So if you respect your people are going to respect you. If you don't allow them to follow the safety precaution because it is affecting your productivity, and if the person knows that their limb or life is at risk, how do you expect them to come back to work tomorrow?
Another aspect related to this is, we talk about work-life balance. Everyone has a limited time, and some companies work for 45 hours, some companies work for 48 hours. But at the end of the day, there are companies where who do a lot of things to at least create a feeling that we care for you and we are there to help you with the work-life balance. Some others believe that there's nothing called work-life balance, and today lot of us talk about work-life harmony. It's not work-life balance; it's work-life harmony. What's your take on it, sir? What should organizations, leaders do? I mean, you spoke about mental health also in one of our in the conversation in the beginning. So, what should organizations do while getting the best out of them, also keeping them comfortable?
Healthy employee produces excellence. Okay, if the work environment creates unhealthy employee, so you should change it. Okay, and the second important thing is the work-life integration, balance, harmony, whatever you call it, is also there is a role to be played by the employee and the employer as well. And I'm sure, but having said that, how much of productivity improvement the employee themselves can bring in. So if people analyze, am I doing 8 hours worth of job in 8 hours or 16 hours?
It's been a wonderful conversation with you. We spoke on several aspects of leadership development. You know, the difference that I saw in this podcast is that you were able to bring in your entire rich experiential learning, and also connecting it to the customer side and responded to a lot of these questions. I'm sure this will be very, very useful to our audience, sir.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. And it was quite, I was thrown off guard in many questions, so I had to kind of recalibrate time to time. But it was a good conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.